Hi guys, hello all our spooky friends out there, and welcome to another Storytime episode of the Scariest Podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grace, and this is Adam Diaz,
Hello.
and we're here to read you some spooky stories today.
Super excited. These are some of the favorite things that we get to do throughout the week. I think it's either my favorite or my second favorite, depending on how good our episode was on Sunday. So our Storytime episodes are where we read homegrown horrors that you wonderful listeners or viewers have submitted to us. And those homegrown horrors are like paranormal or spiritual or just weird coincidence experiences or funny stuff that's happened to you folks that you decided you wanted to share with us. And if you have one of those experiences that you want to reach out to us with, email storytime@scarish.com. You can also go to facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Message us if you would like. If you want to post for some instant feedback, join the Facebook group, which is the Scariest Spooky Friends group. Post it there. We'll chat with you about it. It'll be a fun time. If you want to go to Discord, if you know what Discord is, or if you want to learn what Discord is, best way to do that, scarish.com. On the right-hand side, if you scroll down, there'll be a spot that says, join us on Discord, and that'll take care of it for you. You don't have to download an app. If you're on like a desktop computer, you can use like a window, I think, still, so that's cool. And if you want to tweet at us, @ScarishPod. If you want to message us on Instagram, @ScarishPodcast. Those are the best ways to reach out to us, but
It's a lot to say.
you can also watch these episodes recorded live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is what all the fine folks in Twitch and YouTube are doing at this very moment. I want to say hello and thank you for joining us again to everyone that's out there.
Hello.
So did you want to go first with the first story, or do you want me to go first? Do you want me to
I
go first?
can go first. I already pulled my stuff up.
All right,
so this one goes, hi, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello. This is Cheyenne, and I have sent a story to you before over Facebook. The one when my grandpa talked to me when I was a toddler, and it freaked my mom out. I have a few more stories if you want them. By the way, I forgot to mention that you can put all of them on the podcast, even the first one.
Good to
I'm
know.
sure we've already read the first one.
We have. I remember that. So it's good to know that we didn't mess up that time. So.
And, okay, so this one is titled Malabar Farm. There's a really cool farm near Mansfield, Ohio called Malabar Farm. I used to live near there and would go to the various activities they hold there now. One of the activities is a Halloween tour of the farm. I love Halloween.
Halloween is so much fun. We're going into Christmas, and I'm realizing as a broke adult, it is far less fun than when you have actual money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's usually like my favorite thing. But right now, like, I think I'm going to get everyone like $10 gift cards, and I feel a little crappy about it. So
it went from $20 to $10 now.
Yeah, from dinner to walking up here and getting everything ready, it's gone down that far. I'm looking at our November donation goal, and I'm like, yep, $10 gift cards for everyone, never mind.
They hold a play of a true murder story. Oh, that's so cool. And talk about all the ghosts still there. It's really cool to hear the story of the place. After the play, they do other things related to that story. Then they let people tour the old mansion on the property. This mansion is also haunted. After I saw my grandpa, I still had a sense for people on the other side years later. I couldn't see them, but I could feel them. My family has been to this farm for the Halloween activity a few times because it never really gets old. One of the times, we were about to leave, and my uncle was taking pictures trying to find a ghost.
I'm guessing spirit orbs or ghosts are going to pop up at some point.
Maybe.
I'm
or
nervous.
They actually see something, but they can't take a picture of it, but they see it.
Do you think at the end of this email it's going to be like, nothing was there, but it sure was fun. Anyways, have a good day.
Oh my God, shut up. He asked to pick a spot to shoot next, and I stared at the mansion for a second and told him to take a picture of one of the windows. We didn't see anything at first, and my mom didn't believe me when I said that there was actually something there. My uncle decided to humor me and really looked at the photo. After a minute of zooming, he found a face. Let's just say my mom never doubted me again.
Wow.
Another time we went, and I was upstairs in the bedroom of three girls that I used to live... Blah, blah, blah. The bedroom of three girls that used to live in the mansion.
Okay. I will say, I wish this picture was attached to this email, and I'm pretty sure it's not.
Oh.
So that's a bummer.
Yeah. They don't like to be bothered and tend to blur photos and drain batteries. I think all ghosts really like to do that.
Yeah, some
They're
of them
like,
are photogenic,
let me
though.
suck your energy.
Some of them, yeah, I could see that. But I feel like some of them just want to be in every single photo ever taken, so... That's why there's so many places where you're like, there's spirit orbs. Like, every time you go there,
it's
like whether or not it's like dust... like mites or whatever you call them floating through the air, or it's legit spirit orbs. Like, some places always have that.
It's that episode of Doctor Who where that guy is the conspiracy dude that just has a million pictures of Christopher Eccleston as a doctor. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's, he's a ghost. He just likes to be in all the photos.
You think the doctor's a ghost? That would be a very interesting twist to this season, which we haven't started on. Don't talk about it in chat.
Don't talk. Yeah. Yep. No spoilers. Well, I was using my phone as a flashlight and it was pretty well charged. They drained my battery. I was in complete darkness. I wasn't scared. I was more pissed that they killed my light. Luckily, my boyfriend was walking around with me and he let me have his phone to take lead with the light. Either way, I know Ohio is a ways away from where you are, but if you are ever near there and around Halloween, I really think Adam would enjoy it. Robin will probably be really freaked out. Yeah.
She enjoys a lot
I
of
love
Halloween
Halloween
stuff,
activities. I don't like haunted houses. I hate them. But I'm hay rides and stuff. That might be cool.
That's why I would like to trick her into like a bed and breakfast or someplace that you can go visit. And then once you get in, they're like, JK, this is a haunted house. And then she'll be like, damn it, let's go to sleep.
Yeah, no haunted houses. I'm good. And then the second story is Stanley Hotel. It's titled Stanley Hotel. And it goes, my family went to the Stanley Hotel for a tour one year after we went to Sturgis for my mom's wedding. This story won't be long, but I took a picture there and I didn't notice until I left, but there was a white blob in the left window on the side of the building. I was taking pictures everywhere and this is the only spot I got with something in it. I don't know what it is with me and windows.
That's hilarious.
And that's the end of the email.
It's a good email.
Thank you so much, Cheyenne.
I like that it didn't really speculate too much on what it was. It just told us exactly what was in the pictures.
Yeah.
But it's still like, I wish we had the pictures. I wish we could see that. I know sometimes it's hard to like find a picture that you took when you were a kid or younger and try and like scan it into an email and then send it along. But if anyone has access, those are always much more fun to see. It's like we can participate in it with you.
We have been to Ohio though.
We have.
Sure.
I've been to Ohio a lot in my life growing up in Northwest Indiana.
That Amish place.
That's not in Ohio. That's
okay, in Indiana, whatever.
Yeah.
We drove from Ohio to Essen House.
Essen or Essex, I forget which.
Essex House? Essen House? I don't know. It was
There's
amazing.
some Amish person breaking the rules right now listening to the podcast on the cell phone they're not supposed to have.
I just love that
like,
place.
I can't believe they got this wrong. And they're churning butter angrily.
Yeah. Dude, Amish peanut butter. Fuck, so good. But yeah, no, we've been out that way.
It's
so.
not completely out of the realm of possibility that we head back there around that time at one point because we have a lot of friends back there and a lot of them like to get married. Especially next year, there's going to be there's a gaggle of weddings, I think is what you call it.
I refuse to go to all of them.
There's going to be a gaggle of weddings, and hopefully at some point in the future there won't be like a murder of divorces. Let's hope so, fingers crossed. But
murder of divorces.
I figure it's the best thing to call it. But
okay.
no, yeah, we'll be back there at some point, and maybe it'll be in the fall. I really want Robin to see, because there's so much greenery back home. Like, I want her to see what happens when all of it starts to change color.
Yeah.
Because it's the prettiest thing in the world, and it's letting you know.
Texas has the same thing.
Does it?
Trees turn colors.
I don't know. Never been to Texas. I mean, I've been there, but only for like a couple days. So I would love to go to Texas. So that'd be super awesome. But yeah, maybe we can pop by Ohio on the way. It's only like 28 hours away. I don't know if any of you have listened to the episode that came out Tuesday, but I made mention of the fact that our lights were flickering.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
and then the loft ones started flickering last night.
We now have 3 rooms in our house, and we've had the loft ones flicker before every now and then. The difference is last night the loft ones were flickering like on, off, on, off, on, off for like 30 seconds. So I'm convinced we've summoned something into this house. Which isn't a good thing, but it was nice enough to not flicker on and off our games. So we could keep playing Pokemon and Fallout.
I was like playing Fallout 76 and the lights were going on and off and Adam was trying to get my attention. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
I was trying to point out to her, like, I'm not doing this. The remote's right next to you. Like, I'm not participating in these lights going on and off. And she's just like, I'm building a town. Fuck off.
It's more like a little house.
So, all right. So my first one of the night has a subject of homegrown horror. So they know exactly what they're getting into at this one.
Okay.
So this one starts out, hey, Robin and Adam.
Hello.
I love you guys so much.
Aw,
Thank
thanks.
you so much. I'm waiting because these are like 2.5 months behind. We've talked about that before. I'm waiting when we catch up to the point where the audience has decided they fucking hate us, but they're still going to send us their stories. They're like, hi, Robin and Adam. I guess you guys are okay. And then it eventually becomes like, hey, guys, read my story. I hate your faces. So,
Please don't be that way.
For now, they're really nice. And in 2.5 months, I'm sure we'll get a bunch of those. I listen to your podcast every day during study hall. You can share this on the podcast if you want. So some freaky things have happened to me during my stay with my grandparents, from dolls to basements, and then, of course, in parentheses, sorry, Robin, there's definitely something in their house that wants us gone. One day I found this old-looking doll while cleaning out stuff from the garage. The doll had a pink diamond ring, and being the stupid child I am, I took it and wore it. I'm sure nothing bad's going to happen here. They lived to send us this email. Maybe they've been stabbed to death by that doll at this point, though.
I can't do the vintage jewelry. I can't do weird vintage jewelry. It freaks me out. Like, I just feel like there's a spirit attached to them. I can't even.
It needs to be new and expensive. So Robin's just letting everyone know. The next morning, the doll was in my room and its face had a fairly large crack in it. I decided to throw it out, in parentheses, obviously, and thank God I haven't seen it since. Wow, it sounds like you stole this ring off the doll, and then it fought its way into your room to try and get it back, and you're just like, I'm just going to throw you in the trash, which means humans win again. So humans 1, haunted dolls 0. Good work.
And then Annabelle comes in and murders everyone.
This wasn't Annabelle. This doll was much weaker than Annabelle, as we could tell. A lot of creepy stuff has happened with the basement. It used to be a ballet practice room for little girls in the neighborhood. That sounds like Freddy Krueger's basement. Just a little insight on my neighborhood. Back in the day, oh my God.
What?
An old man raped and killed one of the little girls that went to the ballet practice room weekly.
That escalated so quickly.
Yeah, it really did. We have several vents around the house leading to the basement.
Oh, nope. Why?
One day I had just gotten home and I was the only one there.
Oh, I can't.
I sat down to do homework and I heard laughing.
No.
I shook it off thinking it was just my mind playing tricks on me. I heard laughing again and I noped the flip out.
Yeah.
I went to my neighbor's house and just hung out until my grandma came home. I still have to go down there to do laundry and I always sometimes hear someone's breathing and feel like I'm being watched.
Why?
I mean, that's where your laundry is.
No.
Either you stink or you go into the haunted basement to do laundry.
No, that's why you put the laundry room on the second floor.
It's
like
not
a normal
easy for
person.
people to change their laundry room. And what happens if that room turns out to be haunted? You have to keep changing rooms because people keep dying. One last story I have.
I'm going to stuff you in the washer in 2 seconds.
I hate you so much. One last story I have is one that has haunted me since I was little. I've always had this fear of Ronald McDonald. That's so fucking funny.
It's scary. He
Really?
looks scary. You don't think Ronald McDonald does?
I think clowns look scary. I think Ronald McDonald looks silly. I think he just looks silly.
He's
I don't
creepy.
think he looks scary.
Especially those when they have those figures, those statues sitting on the benches.
Those are creepy.
Those are so creepy.
Especially when they slowly turn their head to look at you when you're not paying attention. She's putting her hand in my face for the listeners.
Nope. No.
All right, I'm going to keep going. So I've always had this fear of Ronald McDonald, and my grandma loves robes that are oddly shaped like that damn clown. I would wake up in the middle of the night, and I swear he would be standing in my doorway with a large smile waving at me.
Fuck?
I still have these occurrences to this day. I'm imagining these are the robes hanging on like a hook on the door.
Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of makes sense. Or it is Ronald McDonald hunting you down. I'm more afraid of that fucking king from Burger King, because if you look in that guy's eyes, there's nothing good there.
I'm imagining my sister in the hall with a blanket over her head just saying, "It's me."
That's such a funny story. Have you told that on the podcast
I'm pretty
before?
sure I have.
Well, let's tell it again one more time for the listeners.
No, I don't want to. It's embarrassing.
Okay, fine. We won't tell Robin's embarrassing story for the listeners, who I'm sure right now are like, tell it, Robin, jeez. The email ends. Thank you guys so much. Keep being fabulous, Destiny. Thank you so much for sending that in,
thank you
Destiny.
so
Those
much.
are really good.
I hate clowns. So.
I hate clowns too, but I really think that I'm looking over and, yep, a bunch of people are saying it. They want to hear Robin tell her story about someone. Know? I just know it's there. Stop trying to look at it. So go ahead and share with us what your story is about your sister standing in this doorway.
I'm sure you guys have heard this story before. I'm sure I've told it before. It was back when I used to live with my sister. I must have been like 23. I must have been like 23. No, 22. Younger than that. But I still slept with a stuffed bunny. It was the bunny from Ouran High Host Club. Like, Honey has this cute little bunny he carries around. And I had that because I have problems, okay? And so I sleep with the door open. And one night, the bunny fell off the bed onto the floor. And I hear it thud to the floor, right? I'm reaching my hand down there to pick it up. And while I do that, I open my eyes and there's a freaking dark figure standing in the hallway. This is like in the middle of the night.
So you see a silhouette
like 4
of
in the
a
morning
person
or something.
in the hallway.
Yeah, I see a silhouette, this big, huge, dark figure. And I grab my bunny first, okay?
I just see you like reaching and reaching and reaching while you're panicking.
Yeah, while I'm staring at it, and I grab it, yank it up, and then hide under the blankets. And then all I hear is my sister going, "It's me."
So
like
she
I'm
walked
an
out of the
idiot.
bedroom with her blanket over her head like a cloak, though?
Yeah, she carries her blankets downstairs to sleep on the couch and watch TV.
And she threw it over her like the Grim Reaper and stood in your doorway late at night and
Yeah.
was like, "Why are you freaking out?"
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
And so that's my stupid, embarrassing story.
I think it's funny, and I don't think it's as embarrassing as you think. Lots of
scary.
people sleep with stuffed
I was so
animals.
scared. Okay,
so
I don't know.
it's a good story.
Anyway.
I appreciate
it. So this one goes, hi, Adam and Grace. So close.
Every fucking person gets my name wrong.
No, they called you Adam.
Oh, wow. It was your name this time. I thought they
Yes.
called me Grace. That's how used to it I am. Good to know. Thank you, whoever wrote this.
New listener, and I love your show.
This is the Snark. I just realized this is the Snark's email.
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
watching right now?
Hi.
Hi. We're reading this. Thank you for getting her name wrong and not mine. That's why you're my favorite. No one can hear your look
get
on
it.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Just keep going.
My balls. I have an interesting story about sleep paralysis. From my psychology classes back in the day, I got an understanding for sleep paralysis. As you're falling asleep, your body starts to shut down, and this happens through your parasympathetic nervous system, or PSNS, and it paralyzes your body, so when you're dreaming, you don't act out those dreams. Sleep paralysis happens when your brain wakes up, but your parasympathetic nervous system still hasn't let go of your body. The PSNS also regulates your breathing when you're asleep. Ooh.
Fun story, too. I guess this isn't even a story, just fun fact. When you jolt awake, like when you're falling asleep, it's because your heart rate is entering into resting mode before your brain's going to sleep. And your brain thinks you're dying because your heart rate is slowed so much, so it sends a jolt to check and see if your body's still awake.
That's creepy.
That's why you don't just jump because you're afraid. Like, you're jumping because your brain's like, are we dead? Let's check.
I think
That's true.
Super
That is 100%
cool.
true. Because someone posted a meme where it was like, did you know that when you jump like that, when you're falling asleep, it's because someone else in a parallel universe, the other version of you just died? And someone's like, it's actually not that. This is what it is. And then someone's like, I don't know which one is worse.
I just always worry I'm going to suffocate in my sleep. So
That's why she takes up the entire fucking bed, to make sure she's safe from that.
So when you wake up and you can't move your body, you start to panic. Usually when you're scared, you start to breathe harder. And since you can't control your own breathing, you feel like you're suffocating. Now, for the story. When I was 5, living in California, my neighbors were telling us about the night hag, called Made. Oh, it's a Vietnamese word. It's pronounced Made.
This is just riveting podcasting. I'm
Sorry.
looking over at the numbers to make sure
The
they're not
snark
just
is like,
dropping to
shame
zero.
on you. You're not Vietnamese. You're a failure. They got a new mattress, and anyone who would sleep on the bed would get sleep paralysis. They finally decided to get rid of the mattress, so they cut it open. And inside, there was blood all over the inside of the mattress.
That is not sanitary and super fucking gross.
Apparently, they were sold a used mattress where someone was violently murdered in.
Where they just scrubbed it? Like, they just like, yeah, the blood's soaked in, but as long as you can't see it, no big deal.
I can't even. That's so
Let's
scary.
put this cursed crucifix and maybe a fucking spirit board in there, too, just for funsies.
The email continues, kind of sounds full of shit.
That's hilarious.
Another story, when I was 3 or 4, my grandmother passed away in Vietnam. Apparently, that same day before she got the call, I told her that my grandfather was standing in our living room with my grandmother. Apparently, I pointed at them and waved.
Wow.
My mom got so scared, she grabbed me and went into her room and locked the door. She made a long-distance call to Vietnam and found out that her mother, my grandmother, passed away.
That's so sad.
It was nighttime in Vietnam, so she had a hard time getting in touch with people. Apparently, when my grandmother was in her last few days of life, she told everyone that she could see her husband and he was there for her.
Aww.
She said she couldn't go until she was sure her only daughter in America was okay. Oh, the feels. A couple of days later, she said that we were all okay and she passed away shortly after that. The weird thing is that I've never met or seen most of my grandparents. Somehow, I knew the 2 ghosts in my house were my grandparents.
Wow.
Oh my gosh,
That's super intense.
That's super intense.
That's really sweet, though. I really think people come to check on their relatives.
How scary would that be, though, if you had a kid and they saw someone and they said they saw someone and then you are just like, holy crap, and then you just have to make sure and check and see if
And then immediately afterwards you find out that they had passed away.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I love the podcast. My only issue is the vocal levels are pretty low. I don't know how to fix that. It's all you.
Well,
You're
that's the thing
editor.
is like I try and keep it low so people can turn the volume up because people will tell me like the volume gets really high and spikes in some places, and like as much as I can fix that, it's a crapshoot, to be honest with you. And depending on where you listen to it through, like we get complaints from Spotify listeners a lot where it's like the levels are way too high. I'm just like I cannot get this thing like specialized. I don't even know what the word is for it. Like I cannot get it taken care of to be listened to like perfectly across the board for everyone, especially with the setup that we have right now. Hopefully we can start upgrading soon. We can get these mics are good. I really want to move to a professional level microphone because it'll take care of a lot of our problems.
Yeah. I have the volume cranked up on speaker and my car's Bluetooth is at 100% and I still have trouble hearing some dialogue. I think I mumble my words a lot too.
A lot of times if you look away from the microphone, this microphone is better at picking up.
Yeah, this
when
one
it's
is not
directly on.
So
that one you kind of have to stare directly at. So yeah, there's a few issues that we can hopefully get cleared up with a little bit of updates.
I know this microphone, like, it only captures this. So if I'm, like, anywhere else, it's, like, really hard. But yeah, thank you so much for sending your story. I love those kinds of stories. They, like, freak me out, but they're, like, really good. And I don't know. I like them.
I agree. It's super sad, though.
It is very sad, but very interesting.
Indeed. All right.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and move into my second email of the night. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. And the subject is sleep paralysis story. Please read. And the answer is, okay, I will. And it goes like this. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello. This is my first time messaging into you guys. I drive a lot for work and I look for stuff to listen to when music gets repetitive. Anyways, feel free to share this on your podcast. I listened to one of your podcasts that mentioned sleep paralysis, and it made me think of my experience with the scary as shit phenomenon. I was dating this girl about 5 years ago whose family was really into paranormal stuff, herself included. I am not, in all caps, into paranormal stuff.
Oh, wow.
Looking back, it was definitely a red flag. Hashtag no fucking thanks. I like that hashtag. We only dated about 5 months, but a couple months into the relationship, when I would come home at night from being with her every night, I would be sleeping and suddenly feel this tightening warmth. Sort of like when you were a kid, if you ever wet the bed, feeling except it wasn't wet.
So it's like when you're a little kid and you think you pee the bed and it's warm, but he feels the warmth from like as if you peed the bed, but it's not wet.
Okay.
Or squishy.
Cool. The wet the bed feeling, except it wasn't wet, but it slowly started spreading. The worst part was that I would know.
The warmth was spreading.
Yes, the feeling of like being tight and being warm.
Okay.
The worst part was that I would know it was going to happen each time about 10 seconds before it actually happened. It was constricting and heavy, and I was terrified to open my eyes thinking I would see something straddling my body. I couldn't talk or move, so I would pray to Jesus in my head, asking him to get rid of whatever was doing this to me. I would repeat his name, Jesus, 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 over and over, and suddenly the pressure would give way and I could move again, but I never opened my eyes. One time when the pressure went away, I actually woke up yelling in terror. Sometimes these moments would follow a dream I would have where I was in my grandmother's old home. She had this very long hallway with a bathroom towards the end, a creepy-ass hallway that I wouldn't walk down to this day if she still lived there. But the dream would be me walking down that hallway, and it would start to grow longer and longer, so I'd go into a sprint. I would always make it to the bathroom. Inside the bathroom, I would approach the mirror, and shivers would run through my entire body, and it felt so real.
Stay away from the mirrors. Stay away.
Why?
Because I hate mirrors. It freaks me out. Even in the middle of the night when I go to the restroom, I run past the mirror.
I literally stand there and stare at myself in the mirror so I can see the details on my face, so my eyes can adjust back to the darkness before I go back in the bedroom. Because I don't want to step on the dog, and sometimes she's on the floor.
Yeah, and she blends in.
And while I'm standing there, like, looking at it, I start getting creeped out, and then in my head, I'm like, you merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it, molded by it.
I think just this morning, I went to the restroom, came back to the bedroom, and I was like, where's Yui? Where's the dog? Because she's black.
I heard you say that. She's, like, at my feet.
Yeah, she's on the bed, and I just heard her tail, like, smacking the bed.
She heard her name.
I was like, oh, okay.
It's like, oh, hello, dog. And she's standing right in front of you. It happens a lot when you have a dog that's dark and you're in the darkness.
Yeah.
So going back to the email, finally, one of the last times I stayed the night at this girlfriend's house, the entire night I heard footsteps. They would walk down the stairs into the room and loom over my girlfriend and I. I could feel it.
Nope.
They would then walk away, back up the stairs, and repeated this process the entire night. I told her about it in the morning, and she said it was probably her grandmother
No.
who was
No.
deceased
No.
watching
No,
over
no,
the house.
No.
That was
No.
the last time I spent the night there. We broke up shortly after that, and I haven't had sleep paralysis or the dream about the hallway since we broke up.
Maybe that was a good choice.
Yeah, I think it
I know
sounds
that's
like it.
horrible to say, but like, that's a scary situation to be in.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they were doing some... I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. They were clearly a family of demons that were experimenting on your dreams, though. I talked to her a couple of months after we broke up to catch up for some dumbass reason. You were looking to bang. Don't even try and lie about it. I'm just saying I'm calling you out right
You're
now.
looking to bang? What the fuck?
And she told me she was getting into Wiccanry with a question mark. Is that the right word? She was a Wiccan, in parentheses. I don't know how to spell it. I think you got it
Is
right.
it called Wicca then? She's into Wicca if she's a Wiccan.
I don't know. Wicca. That's all I heard in my head. The black magic cult / religion thing, it's not necessarily black magic, by the way. Most of that is not black magic.
Right.
And all that, but confirmed that she was casting some dark shit into my life. What a fucking bitch.
That's a bitch
She might not be a
move.
demon, but I totally called it. I had chills just writing this to you guys, but I hope you get some good goosebumps from it. And then it says sent from my iPhone, which I almost fucking read out loud because I'm stupid. So thank you so much for sending that in. We appreciate it. I will say, I'm just putting this out there. I know a lot of you guys get into relationships and you're like exploring who the person is, and then you're realizing certain things about them. Keep an open mind, because it is very important to keep an open mind into what your partner's interests are.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily mean you need to participate. You can have like separate things you're interested in, but never stick your dick in crazy. To all the guys listen to this.
Wow.
That's a rule.
I can't believe you said
That's
that.
a rule.
I can't believe you
need
said
to live
that.
your life by. And anyone who's listening to this is like, I can't believe he said that. But he's fucking right, and that's the truth, because it's really, really, it'll fuck up your life, and I'm just saying that to anyone who's listening. Robin's like framing her face like, hello. Well, listeners can't hear that.
You're saying this to everyone, and you can't even follow your own rules, so...
I'm just trying to
saying.
help someone else out there, okay?
Okay.
It's like when you're being dragged out, and you're like, don't be me!
All right.
Don't hurt me.
Let's move on.
She's going to beat me when this podcast is over. We all know it's going to happen.
You better cut that shit out of the podcast later.
I'm
saying.
totally not doing
Fucking
that.
hate you. Okay.
Leaving it in. So let's look over into Stream Chat and see what you guys had to say, and hopefully she'll forget about it by the time this is over. Mothboy Real Estate just said, one of my family friends was going to get married, and on her wedding day the groom was late. Turned out he died. Later on, she learned that apparently she was cursed by an ex that she would never find a husband or something. She changed her name, and now the whole friend group calls her by that name.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That is fucked up.
What?
That's really good, Mothboy. Good shit.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Okay.
So before we move on, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Modern Physics. That's modern spelled the modern way, and physics spelled FIZZIX.com. Go over there and check out all the fun things they have, including bath bombs, sugar scrubs, bath salts. And right now, if you use the promo code BASEMENT, you can get 30% off your entire order, which is pretty amazing. So you can go get that stuff, drop, soak, relax. But Robin, what do you got for us?
Am I last? Or no? Well, no. My story and then your story.
Correct.
Okay.
So this is your third one, right?
This is my third one.
This one, I will tell you, just looking over at it, has some funky editing in it. It was sent that way. It's weird. It's like it's a full page margin, then half page margin, and the letters go from big to small. So
it's fine. I didn't wear my glasses, but whatever.
Oh no, this is gonna be bad.
Okay. This email goes, "Hi, Adam and Robin." Hi.
Hello. I was waiting for you to go first, and I think you were too.
Well, I sometimes I contemplate, like, do I want to say hi? Do I want to say hello?
You want to mix it up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like ahoy, maybe tossing an ahoy.
Salutations.
Cheers. How you doing, dog? Greetings and salutations. I'm from Demolition Man. I love that movie.
Demolition Man's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Is that the one with Sandra Bullock?
It is.
Yeah.
That made her career.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She turned that down at the time that Lori, I forget her name, the chick from Tank Girl. I talked about this on the podcast before. She was offered, I don't know if you've ever seen Tank Girl. Not a lot of people
Is that
did.
the one with the chick with the gun for a leg?
No. You say that every time I bring this up. That is from Grindhouse. That is not that. That's Planet Whatever. I forget the name of that one too. Jesus. This is just horrible.
I love Rose McGowan. So
Okay, yeah. No. If you ever seen A League of Their Own, the little sister.
Okay.
She's Tank Girl.
Okay.
Her career was huge. She was offered the lead in Demolition Man that Sandra Bullock wound up taking because she passed on it to make Tank Girl.
Lori Petty.
Yes, Tank Girl flopped.
Miss Deasy said it.
Laura Petty's career ended. I shouldn't say ended, but it just got worse. I think she's fantastic, by the way. I fucking love her. And then Sandra Bullock took the fuck off. So she'd already been kind of well known.
I love Sandra Bullock. I'm guilty of loving, I think it's called The Proposal, the one with Ryan Reynolds.
That is such a horrible movie that I can't stand that I like.
I love it. It's
because Betty White's in it, and no matter how cheesy Betty White is, I'm like, God, I love this woman.
Okay, so back to the email. The email continues. My name's Samantha, but you can call me Sam. Hi,
What's
Sam.
up, Sam? How you doing?
First, I just wanted to say that I absolutely love your podcast. I have a relatively lengthy drive to and from work and needed a good scary-ish podcast to listen to. I just so happened to find you on Spotify, and I've been hooked ever since.
Hooray.
I'm currently on episode 30. Wow!
You're moving through pretty quick.
Yeah, you're moving through pretty fast. And trying to catch up. I'm not usually one to send anything in or comment on Facebook posts, and it's taken me probably 3 months to finally sit down to type this, but I just thought this would be a good thing for me to share with you since I don't really have many people I can talk to about the creepy stuff.
I'm really happy you decided to do that, because I think there's a lot of people probably listening right now who have thought, like, I'm going to send them this story. And then they just don't. Whether it's like you just don't get around to it or you start and decide not to. I've had multiple people contact me and tell me, like, I was going to send you a story, but I decided not to because I got way too creeped out writing it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just something that happens. But, hey, you pushed through and you sent this. So we appreciate
and it takes, I think it takes a lot to put yourself out there like that.
It takes nothing to read these.
No,
we are nothing. We are just a conduit. We are a vessel for your words, folks. So, like, you're taking all of the effort by sending this in, and we are just reading these for you guys to listen to. So, cool. We give you all the credit for sending these in.
All right. So, the email continues. I'll
Did
try
it actually say that?
No, that's just me trying to find
really
my
nice,
place.
So.
Oh, thank you. Lots of watching La La Land. I'll try to make this not too long of a story, and I would absolutely love it if you shared this on the podcast. I'll have a complete fangirl moment, just saying. Here it goes.
Hopefully you're still listening and you can fangirl out to this then.
On to the story. Don't worry, there's no basements. Thank you, because I'm the one reading this. That's great. I grew up in a smallish town in Northern California and have been in this area ever since. I recently moved out of my parents' house, but I'm only about 25 minutes away. It's not, the house I grew up in is in one of the oldest neighborhoods in the town. It's not ancient by any means. However, it was built in the mid-30s and my parents still live there. That's kind of cool. That's really neat that your parents still live there.
Yeah, I like places with history. I liked visiting my friends in Chicago back when I used to live there, like when they were downtown. Because you go into those apartments and, like, they're old apartments. They've been around for a long time. You know? It's very rare that you find something brand new. Like out in Las Vegas, like everything's always brand new because everything's always being built and then being rented like right away. You know, it's very hard to find a place that's like old and has history. And a lot of people don't like that. Like we've talked about it before. Like you don't want to live in a place that might have had something bad happen in it.
Right.
It's hard to avoid that when you're in a place that's old.
The house that I grew up in from like middle school onward, in Hawaii was in the middle of nowhere, and I swear the house must have been built in like the 50s or something because there was gross linoleum, like it was all old. The whole entire house,
popcorn ceilings. Those are my least favorite fucking things on the planet.
Well, see that this house wouldn't have had that because every little piece of it was wood. All the walls, wood. And then my parents, once they took it over, were like, let's put in wood floors.
Wow.
So the walls were wood. There's no such thing as painting the walls. They didn't do that. You know what they did? They glazed them. So now the wood's shiny.
Shiny.
So
it sounds like you lived in a sauna, not even in a log cabin.
Yeah.
It sounds really gross.
It was just everything was wood. My parents put in wood floors. It was just really old. Like the house, you still have to like crank the windows open. That's how old this house was.
It's not terribly old.
Well, you crank the windows open. Some open this way, some open this way. But
no one can see the hand motions in the audience.
Some they open willy-nilly.
Some open like from the like flat way, like out, and then some open like they split and they like peek out, right?
Yeah. So anyway, that was the weirdest thing for me to get used to is having a house where you had to crank the windows open. And they still live there. It's a really old. I was 10 when we moved in, I think, and I'm 29 now, and they still live there. So they've been living there for a really long time, and the house is already old. So I totally know, I mean, the feeling of like, it's not really an old house by any means in the grand scheme of things. But it's
Imagine living in the UK where it's
kind
like,
of creepy.
oh yeah, this apartment building's been here for 1,000 years, you know?
Yeah.
It's like America's all fairly new because, for reasons that everyone pretty much knows.
We're only 200 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say because it's stolen, so.
What the fuck?
Yeah, let's just be real about that.
Anyway.
Let's get back to this email, though. Let's not get
Okay.
anyone else out there pissed off.
So, it's your typical older home with creaky floors and strange noises. I know the feeling. From the house settling on the foundation, etc. To give you a general idea of the layout, when you walk in the front door, going right will take you into the kitchen, and going... Oh, this is right. And going straight...
No one could see that you did the wrong hand.
But
I was
going
to keep my mouth shut.
Okay. Okay,
so make L's with your fingers, and the one that's an actual...
Stop, you're making me feel stupid.
Kidding me.
Okay, so you go in straight, right? And going to the right will take you to the kitchen. Going straight will take you into a hallway to the bedrooms and the bathroom, and on your left is the living room. Bathroom on the left and living room on the right. Okay. You can also get to the living room from the kitchen. Long story short, imagine a giant wall in the middle of the house, and you can walk around it to get to any room. All right.
It's weird, but okay. It sounds like a set for a studio. You know what I mean? Where it's like you can just get to any room that you need to film in because there's a divider for every room that's like serves
It's probably
as the
just
backdrop.
like a loop, you know?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I never really had an imaginary friend. I guess it's kind of common for only children to have them, but I didn't. However, I never felt like I was really alone. I still sometimes have that feeling where I'm there. The first time I ever had a strange occurrence happened that really freaked me out was when I was about 9 or 10. It must have been a teacher work day or something because I don't remember being sick, but I was home on a weekday. My dad was at work, but my mom was working from home in the office, which was the very last bedroom in the farthest corner of the house. I was spending most of the day with her in the office, so I wasn't bored. We had a little TV in the room, and I would just watch Buffy reruns while she worked on the computer.
That's funny.
I love
She
Buffy.
did a 2-tapper to the chest and the peace sign.
Buffy is amazing. I freaking love Buffy. With my mom still in the room, I went to the kitchen to get a drink and something to eat and was in the kitchen for just a couple minutes when I got the feeling that I wasn't alone. I was putting the stuff that I had taken out of the fridge away, and as I closed the door, I don't want to read it. I looked to my left towards the hallway opening, and there was a little girl standing right there in the hall entrance.
Play with us.
No. Kids freak me out. Little kids freak me out. I don't know why. I love my niece, my nieces now. I love them. Yeah. And I love my friends' kids. But if I saw a random little fucking kid in my house, I'm pummeling them.
Wow. That's
I'm sorry,
fucked up.
But like, they don't, if the kid doesn't belong there, you don't know where they came from.
You're going to get beat because you might be a ghost and you've scared me.
Oh my God. They freak me out. Okay. Already.
I can't say don't put your dick in crazy, but you can say you are going to commit child abuse if a kid is out of place and you don't recognize it.
I just don't want them in my house. I'm not going to actually literally beat them, okay? It's just like, you got to figure out if they belong there or not, and it just freaks me out. Like, what if they're a ghost or a demon?
You do realize you're the adult in this situation, right? You can say something that will scare them far more. Like, you could just scare... Like, maybe a kid walked into your house and you could just stare at them. Just be like, you don't belong here.
Okay, what...
They'll be terrified for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and then what if you say that and then they have that creepy smile that just creeps up?
Then,
and
they're a demon.
Like,
and then you know. You gave it a shot at least to scare the demon.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Didn't pay off.
No, kids freak me out. Okay. She didn't look to be more than 3 years old. She was wearing a little white dress and was just standing there staring at me. I paused for a second before noping the fuck out of there. I ran the other way into the hallway, back into the office where I stayed with my mom until she left the room, and I followed her out. She saw that I was freaked out about something, obviously, since I ran into the room like a bat out of hell, but I didn't tell her what happened because I knew she wouldn't believe me. And since then, I never really felt like I was alone. There was one other occurrence when I used to sleep with my door open and the hall light on. I used to be scared of the dark, and I heard creaking in the hallway. It sounded like the creaking caused by someone walking down the hall. Oh, okay. When I when I turned to look, there was a man in a black coat and hat walking down the hall towards the bathroom.
Why do you turn to look? Just stay in bed and go back to sleep.
He walked past me with his back facing me, so I never saw his face. I did what you're never supposed to do in a scary movie, and I got out of bed.
Don't cover your mouth. You have a microphone.
I got out of bed and looked out the door to investigate. Ooh, well, when I looked, there was no one there, and the footsteps stopped. Okay, what if you look out and the face is right there? I don't know.
So that's the thing, too. If you think you're in a scary movie, you have to think to yourself, am I in the beginning of a scary movie? Are you going to be the plot? Are you going to move the plot forward?
Or the beginning murder?
If you are, that's what I'm saying. It's not or. That's exactly what I'm saying. You're the person who's going to die that everyone's going to talk about in the next scene. Or are you the person that has something weird happen recently that was the inciting incident, and you're the person that's going to be the main character who could live? Because if you're the person who's going to get murdered, there's not a lot you can do. Like, every decision you make is going to be wrong. If you stay in bed, it's like, why'd they stay in bed and wait to die? If you get up to investigate it, like, why didn't you stay in bed? It's just, you're just boned.
Yeah. I never saw that figure or the little girl again, but since that night, I never slept with my bedroom door open again. To this day, I still run from the back of the house into the living room because I feel like something or someone is there. And there have been plenty of other creepy instances in that house, but those were just the two that really creeped me the hell out. I hope you enjoyed my story, and I hope you read it on the pod. Keep creeping. Oh, by the way, I was listening to you guys on the way home from work yesterday. It was a Storytime episode, and you were talking about the movie Signs, and Adam called him M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong.
Yes, that's his name.
And
that's his given name.
And I just about lost my shit because that's what I call him too. I think so many people call him that. Driving alone, I literally yelled, "Ha!" and started crying the rest of the way home. I swear that was the funniest thing I've heard in a long time. Thank you for the laughs. By the way, Adam, Lady in the Water isn't a cinematic masterpiece by any means, but it is pretty entertaining, and it's my go-to guilty pleasure movie to watch when I'm home on a rainy day. I recommend giving it a watch sometime.
I'll give it a one-timer. I will watch it. Just because I've heard, like, I know the twist. Someone's already ruined it for me, and it's like, it's something that I can take, so I will definitely watch it. So thank you for that recommendation.
I've never watched it.
Thank you for that story as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was really good.
It's just weird thing when you like see something that creepy and decide that you're going to investigate. It means you're brave. It does not mean you're dumb. But if you had died, you know what? That's just a bad decision that you made. But hey, you lived, so you get to say that you made the right decision. Doesn't make it any less fucking creepy, though. Let's be real about that. Okay, so I'm going to move into my last email, which is the last email of the show. And this one's subject is Story from a Former Skeptic, which is a really good... I'm really hooked off of the subject line because I want to know what's about to happen.
Cool.
It starts out like this. Hi, Robin and Adam.
Hello.
Hello. Believe it or not, I found you guys on Spotify. Shout out to Spotify.
I just love that meme someone posted.
Someone made a meme in the Scary Spooky Friends group where it's like, it's the meme where it's like someone hiding and then a serial killer with the Jason mask looking for them and they say something and the person shouts back and they put in, I found you guys on Spotify, and then the person getting murdered was me. It says Adam over and it says, shout out to Spotify. It's definitely very accurate. I caught up on my episodes by another popular podcaster by the name of Jim Harold. I've never heard of Jim Harold.
All right.
I'm glad I found you guys because not only can you guys be funnier, you sound genuine, as in being yourselves, along with reading some very creepy stories from history, myths, and fans while maintaining a sense of humor.
We are definitely ourselves, and sometimes we say things where I'm like, did that really just come out of our mouths? We shouldn't say those things.
Mainly me is what she's saying.
No, I mean the whole...
I'm glad we sound genuine, and I'm glad you guys are interested in the content because we're always worried that like our demeanors won't exactly match what we're covering. But at the same time, it's like, it's nice to get these emails to know that it's actually working. But thank you so much for sending us in. Yeah. My name is Amy, and I am a mom of a 14-year-old daughter and expecting another baby. Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations.
I apologize in advance as this might be a long story, but it is the story that made me realize that there are things in the universe we can't and may never be able to explain until we pass on. I spent a couple years dealing with these events too, which lead to the deterioration of a relationship and feeling horrible for not being able to understand the desperate call for help beyond the grave until it was too late. Wow, this is just really setting. This is a lot of foreshadowing, so I'm hoping this wasn't like a terrible experience. Between 2009 and 2013, I lived in a small town in northern Michigan with my then young daughter and now ex-boyfriend.
Okay.
He just bought an A-frame style house on 5 acres of land, which is a fuck ton of land. We raised a garden, chickens, and even had some pigs. We actually enjoyed our village life while working with a local music festival and insurance company too. We did work together at both companies. So this sounds like a nice lifestyle that you guys like had going for you.
Yeah.
Things actually did not begin to happen until a year after living there when we were doing house and yard renovations. And I have to admit, I have always had issues with depression and insomnia. So some of the small things that began to happen, I believe, were due to that. It would mainly be hearing a woman call my name or movements I see out of the corner of my eye. My daughter, who was between 5 to 9 years old at that time, began to wake up screaming for me and saying she kept seeing a woman in her room, but I was interpreting that as nightmares. Thinking about my reaction to my daughter's fears today makes me feel like a terrible mother. You are not that. You're just being rational. Because I was not realizing my skepticism was possibly causing future PTSD in my child, especially if she did see this woman.
Oh my gosh,
I don't think it's ever a bad thing to try and tell your child, like, it's okay, the monster's not actually under the bed. And it's just a natural reaction for a parent to not, I'm not saying be skeptical, but be rational about the situation to calm your kid down. That is, I mean, you're not a bad mom by any means.
No. And it's hard because sometimes you're like, I don't want to believe it because I'll freak out.
Right.
And it's just...
you panicking in front of your kid is probably the worst thing you could possibly do. Like, there's ghosts in the house, and you just fucking run out of there and set the house on fire. Like, that's not going to help anything. We've all seen Hill House. That doesn't help. So,
oh my gosh, okay.
Things began to progress where I began having strange dreams, and these dreams had the same woman in it. One dream in particular was so frightening, I woke up screaming in bed, and my partner did have to spend half an hour consoling me.
Wow.
The dream was at a pool in a luxury hotel, and I was having cocktails with friends at the shallow edge of the pool. That's starting out really nice, actually. That sounds like a fun dream.
But something bad's going to happen. You already know.
In the deep... Well, I mean, it's a nightmare she woke up screaming from, so yeah, you do know. In the deep end, I kept seeing this woman's head pop up, staring at me with anger, then going under the water again.
Okay.
Immediately, I would get out of that fucking pool.
Oh my god, yeah, no. Because you know they travel a million times faster under the water.
It's just like in Friday the 13th. She did this a few times while moving closer and closer to our end of the pool.
No.
It stopped for a minute.
No.
Until... I felt hands grab my legs and pull me under the water.
Oh, man. Okay.
With my eyes wide open, I was staring at this woman who was now grabbing me by the shoulders and shaking me frantically and yelling something to me I could not understand.
Holy crap.
Because all I could see were bubbles coming out of her mouth. She was absolutely terrified, and I was too. I have had many dreams with her in it, with some just being weird, but this was the most terrifying.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I have goosebumps.
Yeah.
Shortly after those dreams started, my boyfriend began hearing voices, thinking it was me calling to him when I wasn't.
No, I can't. I don't want to listen anymore.
Take your hands off your ears. You have to experience this.
Okay.
He was a pothead, so he scratched it off thinking it was what he smoked.
Okay.
That happens. Like, if you're going to be a fucking pothead, you have to think, like, I got a hold of some bad weed. You know? It's like, that's just what's going to go through your head. Another night, we both heard screaming and thought it sounded like a woman. My boyfriend said it was probably a bobcat calling out for its young. I began feeling cold spots and grew very anxious as I constantly felt like I was being watched or touched, and I developed depression when I had been depression-free and off my antidepressants for 5 years.
Holy cow.
I thought I was losing my mind until one day my boyfriend came up to me and said, "Were you crying last night? I thought I heard you crying outside in the chicken coop." Well, I was in the kitchen with a neighbor down the road having a glass of wine. It gets even better. Is this good? Is it going to get better? Because I'm going to go ahead and be honest.
Scared. Oh, that's so long.
Yeah, it's very long.
It's so long.
One of the last things that happened to me was one evening in the dead of winter, which is a good board game, by the way. Dead of Winter, check it out. Sponsored by Dead of Winter. Not really.
No, please sponsor us, though.
That'd be awesome. Great. It's a fun board game. It's basically zombies and stuff. So let me get back to this email. We were in bed, and I was staring at the ceiling as it was a clear night and full moon, with the moonlight showing off the branches of the tree by our house. I noticed something similar to it appear on the ceiling as well, but on the other side, as if it were a silhouette of a woman. I didn't really pay much attention until I saw it move. It was slowly moving across the ceiling until it was above me, and then in seconds, it disappeared. I was scared shitless, waking up my boyfriend and explaining what had happened. He was obviously irritated and told me to go back to sleep. I did eventually, but a short time later, the both of us were woken to a woman yelling. But I was so scared, in all caps.
I'm so scared too.
In our room.
I'm scared now, and it's not even me.
How can he rule that out when we both heard it? And here's the kicker. The insurance company I worked for just added a satellite office in a town near our house, and I would work there 3 times a week. We were using a marketing strategy where we would look up the population and demographics of people in surrounding counties to gain access to new clients. This was my job to do this on Fridays, so I would do a lot of research on the web, looking at the surrounding counties' websites to access this information along with statistics. I just know where this is going. One day I was looking at our county and clicked a few links where one had cold cases.
Oh, why?
I have no idea how I got to that website as I was too deep into my marketing research, but I clicked on it. As I scrolled down, I recognized a face of a woman.
Shut up.
When I realized who she was, I ran to the bathroom and vomited. That's just straight up fear. Like, if you puke because you're so scared, that's really fucking scary. Turns out the woman had been missing since May of 1979. She was also pregnant with her married boyfriend's second child as well, and had a son and daughter. The boyfriend said around the date she went missing, he took her to the airport in Big Rapids, Michigan, to board a plane to Chicago, which was the famous Flight 91 that crashed and killed 271 on May 25th, 1979.
Oh my goodness.
An investigator found out she never boarded that plane or had a ticket in her name. Then around 2004, after years of physical and mental abuse, the man's wife confessed to police, saying he killed the pregnant woman and buried her body in the woods in the village we lived in.
Oh my gosh.
He was sentenced to prison. I have fucking cold chills everywhere. He was sentenced to prison for the crime, even though her body was never found. He eventually died in prison. I tried finding information on this woman's daughter and son. From what I found, the son died in prison, and the daughter may have died from cancer, but I could be wrong. If this is true, it is a sad ending, but hopefully the mother and siblings are together again on the other side. It took me a long time to get over this. Part of me also feels bad, as I feel she was trying to reach out to me, and I was just really frightened. My daughter vaguely remembers it as well and isn't suffering from PTSD. That's good to know.
That's really good.
And I am very thankful for that, as she is not even scared of the dark. If anyone is interested in the case, I attached some links you can share. I have other scary stories, but nothing as scary as this. Amy. Wow.
That's really good.
That was really good.
And just so mind-blowing.
I'm going to need to look into this case, too. The links are here, and I'm going to dive into that. And I think I'm going to do a little bit of a follow-up on episode 52 as well, because I need to know more about this case, because it is so shitty to have a tragedy happen where a bunch of people die in a plane crash and then be like, yup, my girlfriend was on that plane. My wife was on that plane because you murdered them. Like, that's just so fucking horrific. That's just a tragedy that other people are having to deal with, that you're pretending that you have to deal with because you're just a fucking murderer.
Yeah.
Wow, that is super creepy. Wow, I don't understand why you didn't get out of that pool in that dream, bro.
Yeah.
Like, get out as soon as you see something malevolent.
Yourself. Like, I had a nightmare about spiders last night, I think, and
yes,
I woke
that's what
up
I was told.
Freaked out because it was just like I had tarantulas all over my body. Like, it was super scary because I am not the biggest fan of spiders, but I was trying my hardest to be really nice to them and like trying to get them to like walk off my hands. And then the more I was nice to them and getting them off of me, more showed up, and I'm trying to get out of bed and there's just tarantulas like, oh, and they're big too. They were like this big. It was
this big is like if you took your hand and made a circle with it, like a full circle. That's what you just did.
It was like a big like bowling ball size spiders, man.
That's enormous.
It was scary. Oh my goodness. Just ugh.
Yep, I would shake like a dog and get all those goddamn spiders off me. I'm not being polite to any spiders. I know a lot of our fans like spiders. That is totally okay. I would not hurt a spider, but there's no fucking way I'd let it stay on me if I didn't want it there, because that is just terrifying. At Scarish Podcast, read my last dono, absolutely.
I'll scroll up and I'll find it. I can do it.
I have it right here. Miss Easy says, don't forget, chat, if you have Amazon Prime, you have a free sub per month. Hint, hint, hashtag sellout. Realistically, if you have Amazon Prime, once per month, you can give $5, which is what it costs to subscribe, for free to any channel on Twitch, because Twitch is owned by Amazon. And you just go to click subscribe, and it says subscribe with Amazon Prime. You click that. You are subscribed to our channel, which helps us out. It costs you $0. You can do it once a month. And if you don't do it, that money just goes to waste. Like, legitimately, it's $5 that Amazon gives you to spend on something that you can give whoever you'd like to support. Please let it be us. And if you don't do it, then it just goes away. So just don't leave that money on the table. And if you have another streamer that you really like, you can donate it to them. I donate mine to other streamers sometimes too.
Mine to my friend Feedback, who is super awesome at streaming Battlefield 5 right now.
He's very good at Battlefield 5. It was very fun to watch.
But yeah, so definitely use your Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime.
It's both of them
that you got available.
Yep.
So
if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. So thank you to everyone who watched tonight on YouTube and on Amazon. And thank you to everyone who listened to this episode when it released to the audio version. And we hope that sometime you'll come join us for the live episodes.
Yeah.
They're Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then after the first of the year, we'll probably have a new schedule coming out soon.
Yes, because I have a new school schedule. So
Exactly. But that's about it for the show, so thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to send us your homegrown horrors, email storytime@scarish.com. You can also go to facebook.com/scarishpodcast and send us a message there. Join the Scarish Spooky Friends group and post there if you want some instant feedback. You can also go to scarish.com, scroll down, and on the right-hand side, you'll see something that says, join us on Discord. Click that if you want to join us on Discord. At Scarish Podcast is where you can find us on Instagram. So many of you have done so. We posted some incredibly cute videos of our doggos, picture of our corgi, and a video of our adorable Shiba getting into play mode at like 8 a.m. Or you can tweet at us at Scarish Pod. And definitely send us your pictures of your omen babies.
yes,
We still get those
we've
a lot.
gotten so many in the Discord recently.
We
It's
have,
awesome.
and we
I should
definitely wanna
post
see
them
them.
on Instagram, but there are just so many.
There
It's
really
hard.
are. We will figure it out, though. Do not worry, folks.
And then don't forget that we do have a Patreon, and we're coming up on the new season where I design, apparently it's probably going to be a snow globe design of the new Scarish logo for the new badges. And then in the future, I'm going to try and do acrylic charms as well. But it's coming up on the season in December. I'm going to actually mail out the sticker and little badge for this season. So if you're tier 10, the $10 tier, badge of honor tier and up, you're going to get the new Chug Some Corn sticker I designed. And then whatever the winter design comes out to be. So
for those of you who've never joined us live on an episode, there was a side conversation. We were reading an email about corn where some of our Australian listeners were asking, like, well, okay, I don't get the corn thing from America. We were describing it, and we were donating a bunch of money.
Connor asked us how much corn I could eat, and I was like, I could chug some corn, because I fucking love corn.
And that's where that came from.
And that's where that came from. And so I designed some stickers, and those are gonna go out with this season's badge of honor tiers and up. So if you want to help support us, go to patreon.com/scaryishpodcast, and that would be awesome. I package everything and I design everything myself, so it really helps us out a lot.
It really does.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to do one-time donations, you can do them on the stream. We do get a lot on the stream, but you can also do it when we're not streaming. If you go to ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast, one-time donations there. Most of the donations at this point are all going towards upgrading the studio, and we're almost there. We hit Black Friday, and the camera that we were looking to purchase actually had a discount on it, and then we found out that you can't take off the graphic user interface or whatever you want to call it when you stream it, so you'd have to see like our battery level and all that other stuff. So we have to find another one that's probably going to be more expensive, but that is okay. We are getting there because of you folks that donate to us, and we appreciate you so much. And for anyone who wants to support us but doesn't have the money to donate, because we totally understand times are tight, you can go over to iTunes and drop us a review. So many of you have done that, and we appreciate all that feedback, and it really does help out podcasts. So thank you to everyone who's done that, and anyone who's thinking about doing it, just pop over there really fast. If you don't want to search for it, you can go to scarish.com, and at the top of that page, there's something that says rate us on iTunes, and there's a link straight to it. So that's a nice, easy way to do that too. So I think that's just about everything that we have for this episode of Scary-ish. So thank you folks that listen. Thanks you folks that tuned in.
Thank you so much for joining us and being great and amazing and so ridiculously supportive and helping us make this happen. We really could not do it without all of you guys. So
go ahead and give us a sign out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.